Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of the Metallica Discography review series. And for this episode I'm going to be drinking some of the greatest soda ever made, Dr. Pepper Cherry, boy. Anyways, so if you guys saw the last episode, I reviewed the first album, Kill 'Em All. Now for this episode I'm reviewing the second album, one of the all-time classics in heavy metal history, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Oh my god, talk about a classic of classics. Well, maybe the next album would probably top it for some fans, but for some fans, people say this is the best Metallica album. It's up there for sure, but once I get to the next album, you'll understand, but with Ride the Lightning, Metallica kind of went in a different way with the thrash metal they started. On this album, you had a mix of the thrash style with like a ballady type of song, which I'll be getting into, and then an instrumental. And you had a couple of slower songs, which fit the mold perfectly. Excuse me, which fit the mold perfectly. Yeah, I burped when I said that last time. But, Ride the Lightning, timeless album. We kick it off with probably one of the most vicious album openers I've ever heard, Fight Fire with Fire. We start out with a nice little acoustic intro, which was cool, and then it gets straight into the Fast and Furious. Oh my god, this is probably one of, if not the most thrashy song Metallica ever made. Fight Fire with Fire. Oh my god. Insane song. A great solo, great riffs, great double bass drumming from Lars. I mean, holy crap, this song threw me off guard when I first heard it. Fantastic song. Can't go wrong with it. Some people even put that up there as one of their top 10 favorite Metallica songs. I'd put it in top 15, most definitely. Top 10, debatable in my mind, because I'm such a big Metallica fan. Then we get to the title track, Ride the Lightning, which was another one of those leftover written songs from Dave Mustaine. But Ride the Lightning, one of the all-time thrash classics. The opening like solo-y kind of riff was just, oh my god, and then the riff that follows after was just great. James improved his singing ability on this album. The last album, it was kind of more of like, not necessarily like a death metal type, but he was doing a little growling, but not like guttural, like bands like Cannibal Corpse, Death, and Possessed. It was just more like a thrash growl and stuff like that, like bands like Exodus had been doing, and Slayer and Megadeth had been doing. He was doing like a thrash kind of growly kind of singing on the first album. On this album, he stepped it up a few notches. Ride the Lightning here, you can hear him do some high notes sometimes, or well, not necessarily like high falsetto notes like King Diamond does, but high notes in his realm. But yeah, Ride the Lightning, and then and actually the middle riff, where it goes dun 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 dun. That riff would later go on into being one of the Megadeth songs. A couple years later, Wake Up Dead, which was based off of what Dave Mustaine calls the spider chord, which was basically that riff with his fingers and stuff like that, which was an innovative style riff. That riff was just fantastic. But yeah, this song overall, Ride the Lightning, amazing solos. Kirk Hammett, in my opinion, is one of the best guitarists in metal. I don't care what some Metallica haters out there say, he is one of the best. I don't think he's as great as Dave Mustaine, but he's up there, I will say. Now we get to the slowest song of the album, and one of the all-time classic Metallica songs for a lot of fans, For Whom the Bell Tolls. And some wrestling fans out there will definitely know what this song was, because Triple H came out to this song in the beginning of his match against Undertaker at WrestleMania 27. for a little bit, although it got edited out in the DVD and Blu-ray release, which was stupid, but whatever. But yeah, For Whom the Bell Tolls, one of the all-time best Metallica songs. The bass riff in the beginning of the song, Cliff Burton again, just ripped it on there. And great riffs, solos, singing, drums, everything. Now we get to the ballad of the album, Fade to Black, which is another one of the all-time classic Metallica songs. This was, some people even classify this as probably the beginning of Metallica selling out, which I say is bullshit, first of all. Second of all, this song was about death and stuff like that, and it was just in like a ballady type of vibe, except not like a cheesy ballad like some of them glam or hair metal bands did in the 80s, but this was more like a ballad about a real subject, not about love and girls and whatever else and all that shit. This was about something serious in a ballad style, but then it gets heavy in the second half. Great, and probably one of the all-time greatest guitar solos in heavy metal history. I mean, it was just fantastic. So, yeah. And I love the acoustic intro by James that he does. And the acoustic guitar playing was great. So, now we get to Trapped Under Ice. Now, this is one of the most underrated Metallica songs of all time. And this song's mostly remembered for being on Guitar Hero World Tour, which came out in 2008. But this is a great song, too. Another pretty thrashy song. So, yeah. Then we get to a hidden gem in Metallica's history. The song Escape. This was a really damn good song. I mean, hell, I like the version Hatebreed did on their covers album for the Lions, which came out in 2009. I love that version, but this version you can't go wrong with. I mean, the song Escape, and yet James Hetfield says this is one of his all-time nightmares live performance-wise, because he was always scared to play the song because of how he sang on it back then, that he didn't think he could match it today. I don't know. I mean, they've only played it, I think, maybe once or twice since the album came out, so it shows you how really scared James was to try to match what he did on the album live, because he didn't think he could, because I guess people think, or at least he thought he couldn't do it, but things happen, and that's what it is. Then we get to another classic Metallica song, Creeping Death. Holy crap. The chorus, or like the fan chorus thing where they go, die, die, die. It's like one of the all-time sing-along parts of a heavy metal song of all time. It was just awesome, and the riffs, again, you can't go wrong with. So yeah, but now we get to the final song, which is the instrumental, called The Call of Cthulhu, which some people thought, because of the song title, people thought, oh, this is going to be a Lovecraft song. Who needs that? Or, well, in a love type of vibe with Lovecraft, but really it wasn't. It's an instrumental, but the original version, the original title was going to be called When Hell Freezes Over, but Metallica decided to not have, like, stuff like do songs like Jump in the Fire, where it's about demons and hellfire, because that's not what the band was all about, which was smart on their part. They wanted to be different from the other bands kind of doing that, like Venom and Slayer. They wanted to be their own entity. And certainly with this song, this instrumental is just a fantastic instrumental. Metallica's always had really damn great instrumentals throughout their whole career. This is one of them. But yeah, if I had to pick the best song on the album, that's a tough call, because all these songs are great in their own way. But if I had to go with one from this album I could never stop listening to, it'd be For Whom the Bell Tolls. Just because it just sticks in your head. But this whole album, wow. buy this album if you have the money. If you don't want to, if you can't buy the album, but yeah, you want to listen to it, there will be a link in the description box for you guys to check it out. Ride the Lightning, Metallica. Perfect 10 out of 10. It's up there as being maybe the best Metallica album. But when we get to the next episode, that's where the debate is going to come into play. But until then, peace.